Hey guys, welcome to Pot's Survival Guide. So on this channel we mainly talk about physical health, but today we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about mental and emotional health. Study after study show that the mind and the body are connected, and if you want to feel your best physically, you have to make sure you're also taking care of your mental health. Having a chronic illness is really hard, especially if you've been torn away from your friends, from school, from work, if you're no longer able to do the activities that you used to love to do. POTS is especially tough because, people call it the invisible illness. It's hard for others to understand. I know I've had a lot of people question whether or not I was really sick. I've been accused of faking it. I had teachers at my school spreading rumors to students about me that I wasn't really sick. I found out later that some of my friends at the time didn't even believe that I was sick. You can feel like nobody else understands you. Even people who believe that you're sick, they don't really understand what's going on with you. It can feel very isolating and very lonely. It's the easiest thing in the world when you're in that kind of situation to just let your mental state become really negative and destructive. It's so tempting to just ruminate and dwell on all of the negatives. Just stew about all of, the doctors who claimed that, this was in your head, or the people who don't believe you, or, dwell on the things that you're not able to do right now, or get into that mode of, why me? Like, why is this happening to me? It's not fair. It's so easy to go there. I think most of us have been there. I know I've been there many times. But it's so important to kind of pull yourself out of that way of thinking. As tempting as it is, it's not helpful, and it's actually really destructive. Honestly, getting into a good mental state and kind of changing the way that I thought about my POTS and my situation really, really helped my recovery. If you're exerting a lot of energy just dwelling in negativity, you're taking energy away that could be used toward your recovery. So today I'm going to share with you a few tips that I learned to just sort of stay in a positive mindset during all of this. So the first tip I have may sound kind of silly, but it's really important, and that's to do things that make you happy. I think when I was at my sickest, I was almost like punishing myself for being sick, and I was depriving myself of things that would have made me happy. I think I had the mindset of, if I'm too sick to go to school, I'm too sick to have fun. And I think that's just not a healthy mindset to be in. I think I was just really afraid of what other people would think about me, which looking back on that now, it's just silly. I mean, other people might judge you because they don't understand what you're going through, but just ignore them. Why should their opinion matter? I think there would be times when, I would be too sick to go to school, but I would have the opportunity to do something fun, like go out for ice cream. And I was well enough where, I could go out for ice cream for a few minutes. And I would often decline those sorts of offers because I felt like if I was too sick to go to school and I was seen by people at my school out getting ice cream, that they would judge me. But I urge you to just ignore those sorts of fears. Taking care of yourself and keeping yourself in good spirits is way more important than what a few petty people might or might not think about you. So I guess I urge you to make making yourself happy a priority. Try to find a little something every day. It doesn't have to be something big, but just watch a TV show that you like, or find a funny YouTube video, or anything that just makes you happy, and make sure that you do that every day. Going along with that, my next tip is to keep track of your gratitude. You can do this in a lot of different ways. Some people will keep a gratitude journal where they'll just write down at the end of every day 1 or 2 things that they're grateful for that day. And it could just be little things, and it could be the same thing over and over again. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful that I have a diagnosis now, that sort of thing. Or if something special happened that day, you're grateful for that. Or you could write down the thing that you did that day that made you happy. Another version of that is a gratitude jar, where you write on a little slip of paper every day something that you're grateful for, and you keep it in a bucket or a jar or something like that. And whenever you're feeling especially down, or whenever you're getting into that mindset of ruminating over the negatives, you just pull out a slip of paper and you're reminded of things that you're grateful for in your life. Now that may sound really cheesy or whatever, but it's really important to just remind yourself that there's always somebody who has it worse off than you. And just remind yourself about all of the good things in your life. Another thing that I found really helpful was to focus my energy on things that I have control over. With POTS, it can feel like you're losing control over a lot of aspects of your life, but it's important to keep in mind that there are still things that you can control, and there are ways of taking your health into your own hands. There was a point in time when I decided to just focus all of my energy onto my recovery and to do everything in my power to help that process along. And that really improved both my mental state and my physical health. So at first that looked like trying to find exercises that my body could tolerate and making myself do them multiple times a day, every day, until my muscles started to become reconditioned because I was so weak that I couldn't really walk across a room. So I started setting goals for myself. By the end of the week, I will be able to walk from my bed to the end of my driveway and back. And 2 weeks later, I will be able to walk to the end of my street and back. And the next week, maybe I'll be able to walk for 5 minutes around the block, around my neighborhood. And I just had these goals, and I was just determined to meet them. So rather than dwelling on, all of this stuff I can't control, like why is this happening to me? This sucks, I hate this. I was focusing on, what? I have a goal and I am going to do everything I can to meet this goal. And I just sort of switched my thinking, and I was a lot happier and I started getting a lot healthier. So set little goals for yourself, small goals at first, like I will do a reconditioning leg lift exercise 3 times a day for a week. And then set long-term goals, like in a month I want to be able to do this, and in a year I want to be feeling like this. Just taking a little bit of control of your life can make you feel a lot better. Another tip I have is to realize that you're not alone. There are a ton of other people suffering from POTS and other chronic illnesses who might be able to understand a little bit what you're going through. If you think it would be helpful for you, feel free to reach out to other people with POTS. Feel free to message me, comment on this video, and there are all kinds of blogs and other great YouTube channels that you can just reach out to other people with POTS. It's important to have someone who you can talk to, and that person doesn't have to have POTS. I was really fortunate, and my family was very supportive, and I felt like I could really talk to them about what was going on with me. But if you don't feel that way, then there are a lot of other people out there who I'm sure understand what you're going through and would be happy to communicate with you. It's just important that you don't feel like you have to carry this burden of the chronic illness and all of the emotional stuff that goes with it by yourself. Another thing that can just make you feel really good is doing something for other people. Now, I know it's really easy to have a tendency to become really self-involved when you're struggling with a chronic illness. I know I did. All the focus was on me and what I'm going through and how can I get myself better. But sometimes it feels really good to just step away from all of that and focus on someone else. How can I make someone else's day brighter? How can I make someone else a little happier today? And it's okay if you're not able to do very much. It could be something very small, like just sending a text to an old friend you haven't talked to for a while, or writing, happy letters to kids in a children's hospital, or, just something to help others. It's just really, it makes you feel good. Another tip, if you're feeling really anxious or depressed, is to try mindfulness meditation. I know a lot of people are really skeptical about meditation, but there's so much good evidence that it's very helpful for everybody. So there are some good YouTube videos and apps. Another thing, if you don't like mindfulness meditation, is progressive muscle relaxation. Or you can try to find some gentle yoga that would feel okay for your POTS. I know that there's a yoga for POTS video, which is really cool. And there are plenty of videos that are like yoga you can do in your bed. But doing those sort of mindful practices can just really help you feel better. And my last tip, which I actually did a whole different video on, is holding on to hope. Hope is maybe the single most powerful weapon in your arsenal right now. A lot of people lose hope when they have POTS or any other chronic illness, and that's just so detrimental. It's so important to recognize that it's not only very possible for you to recover, but it's also very probable. Most people with POTS do make a recovery. As much as you're suffering right now, in all likelihood it will get better. And there are a lot of things that you can do to take charge and take control of your health. So stay positive, and I hope you guys are all feeling a lot better soon.